Hey guys, Steven here with you. This is Wingfoot Lake State Park, and we're going to be flying through here and checking out the different holes. Here we have hole 1. It's 253 feet from the short, 270 from the long. This is just a forehand out here. It's kind of a low ceiling towards the end as you get closer to the pin. So if you try to keep this one nice and low and get a little skip right here at the end, that should set you up for a nice easy birdie. However, if you go too far, there's a little bit of a hill down there with this tree that obstructs any kind of a comeback putt. Hole 2, this one is 288 feet from the short, 360 feet from the long. This is a nice tunnel shot. It's probably a late S is the best shot to attack this pin. You can try to get a forehand to go out to the left over that road and fade back towards the end, but that's a more difficult shot. There's just a couple trees down here at the bottom that must be avoided. Hole 3, this is a 225-foot short tee or a 345-foot long tee. So this is from the long tee perspective, and the best route is probably over all these trees. From the short, there's one tree in the middle, but it does catch a lot of discs. As you can see, I had a little bit of trouble here with the drone, so my apologies for that. Hole 4. Hole 4 is a nice tight tunnel shot. It's 213 feet from the short, 250 feet from the long. You want to keep this one nice and straight. Don't want to go too much left or right. And you certainly don't want to go long on that road, otherwise you'll be out of bounds. Hole 5. From the short is 205 feet. From the long is 365 feet. A nice stable driver that will go straight for a long time with some fade at the ends, probably the best choice for the long. From the short, it's more of a short forehand shot with just a tiny bit of skip or just a nice solid putter shot down the middle. There's a few trees to contend with towards the basket here. Hole 6. It's 195 feet from the short, 295 feet from the long. Most people will take a nice wide hyzer out here to the right over the water and just let it kind of crash down towards these trees at the end here. It's very difficult to get a putt that's very close because most people will land right about here and the basket's up on the side of the hill here. Hole 7. This one's 252 feet from the short, 314 feet from the long. This long shot is much different than the short shot. So the long shot goes all over this water here. So a nice forehand hyzer or a backhand turnover with some late fade so that it'll kind of tuck itself over to the right here. From the short, it's more of a short mid-range or putter shot. Hole 8, we have 229 feet from the short or 420 feet from the long. This is one that's kind of a tweener between a par 3 and a par 4. It is a flat hyzer, and as long as you can get it to go straight enough with just a tiny bit of fade at the end, you could set yourself up for either a birdie or considerable an eagle putt. Some nice brick here at the basket. Hole 9. It's a tight tunnel shot off the beginning here, but then it opens up. So a nice turnover shot should get you there. It's a little bit uphill off the tee, and it's 225 feet from the short, which is just a straight shot, and then 390 feet from the long. Sometimes with a turnover shot, you'll turn it too far, and these trees can come into play. Hole 10. It's 215 feet from the short and 270 feet from the long. And let me tell you, that 55 feet really makes a difference. This shot can be very difficult from the long tee. If you can get it straight enough with just a tiny little bit of fade here at the end, you should set yourself up for a nice birdie putt. Hole 11, 220 feet from the short, 261 feet from the long. This one is a high turning shot. Sometimes if you've got the power, you can use a forehand shot and just hyzer over to the basket. However, sometimes the forehand will skip down this hill if the grass is cut short enough. Hole 12, from the short is 195 feet, and from the long is 285 feet. From the long, it is a very tight window to get out into this open area, and then you've got another tight window to contend with here. From the short, there's actually two options. You can go forehand, which is the simpler of the two, or a hyzer over the tennis courts here, which will crash somewhere near these trees. Hole 13 is 185 feet from the short and 285 feet from the long. So this long shot is very wide open as long as you can crest that first hill. It's not too difficult to get to the basket, which is here tucked towards the trees on the right. And from the short, it's a basic forehand hyzer. However, if you go in early to the trees, it is a difficult shot. Here we have hole 14, and this was actually shot from the short tee because it is the better of the two in my opinion. It's 358 feet from the short, 372 from the long, and this is just a wide open shot. You can throw it out right and let it crash to the left, or if you have that forehand or lefty shot, send it out left and let it crash right. Hole 15, from the short is 220 feet, 310 feet from the long. This one is a nice, easy turnover. It's a little bit of an elevation change, so you certainly want to give it enough height to where you can get it up into kind of this area and have a jump putt, or if you're very lucky, you can get it through this tunnel and actually land it in this bowl for your two. Hole 16, the short is 220 feet and the long is 310 feet. However, this long feels like it plays a lot further because it's a tight window here, about halfway up the fairway, and then you need to get it to skip up to the basket left. If you can give it enough height, then that skip will actually get you pretty close. Most drives will probably land just short of jump putt range, and so landing up here is certainly a good thing. Hole 17, from the short is 250 feet, from the long is 345 feet. However, I believe that distance is a little bit off. The short's probably a little bit longer. And so this is just a straight shot. You've got some trees left and right, but they don't really come into play unless you throw a poor shot. Hole 18. This used to be a volleyball net right here, and it's since been removed. The basic play is a hyzer, or a flat shot that hyzers towards the end here. So getting this route is preferred, and there's a bunch of wood chips that are up here near the basket. So if you can hit these, you can skip over to the basket through these trees and set yourself up for a nice birdie. I want to thank you guys for watching this video of Wingfoot Lake State Park. Please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think.